What's up? It's Mike, and recently I've been trying to make everything I could ever need portable and accessible on the go. See? Look at this. All my food, portable. All my water, portable. All the money I ever had, portable. All my Mario games. Well, at least I have all of my money. Portable game systems and Mario games, two things that go together like mayonnaise and nothing. It really does seem like the perfect fit. Nintendo's always had an extremely strong foot in the handheld market, but that implies anyone's ever gotten close to them. Since the Game Boy, Nintendo handhelds have absolutely dominated the market. The Leapster 2 wishes it could say that, all it has instead is cosmic math. Even the Game Boy Color did well, but we wouldn't be able to tell now, would we? Mario games have been a big success story for Nintendo as well, and by the year 1989 rolled around, he had 4 games to call his own, but they just had to make one more. Okay, actually around 200 more. Super Mario Land was supposed to be the showcase title for the newest thing in unviewable screen technology, the Nintendo Game Boy, and was initially going to be the pack-in title for the system. It was crazy impressive at the time. I mean, before the Game Boy, handheld gaming was this. And you're telling me they fit a whole Mario game in this thing? There's absolutely no way they fit him in here. Super Mario Land was the pack-in title for the Game Boy and shot the console into superstardom, making it another extremely profitable feather in Nintendo's cap. Which is what I would say if Nintendo didn't love some random blocks more. Nintendo of America is to blame for Tetris actually being the pack-in title for the Gray Brick, arguing that its addictive nature would help Nintendo reach a much larger audience. I mean, they were right. But did anyone stop and ask Mario how he felt about it? Tetris sold around 35 million copies, making it the best-selling Game Boy game of all time. Super Mario Land, by comparison, only sold a measly 18 million copies. Now, if I sold 18 million units, I wouldn't be mad. Just disappointed. Super Mario Land performed insanely well, even outpacing the sales of Super Mario Bros. 3. But does that make it better than Mario Bros. 3? Now, if you had an half hour to kill, still no. There's one thing I definitely need to mention before we get into the topic of Super Mario Land, and that thing is this was the first Mario game to not have the original creator Shigeru Miyamoto at the helm. And say what you will about his impact on the Mario series as a whole, I would say he definitely has more hits than misses. Until we got to Super Mario Galaxy 2. You son of a bitch. We could have had Pikmin. His lack of involvement with the project shaped it immensely, with the Mario Land team coming up with an entire new land for him to jump around in called Sarasa Land. I guess that's why they didn't call it Super Mario City Block. That wasn't the only thing Mario Land introduced to the Mario series. Not only did it have cool new environments, enemies, and replace the Fire Flower with the Super Ball power-up, but it also introduced a future staple for all of the Mario sports games out there, Princess Daisy. Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of Princess Peach. Holy I love orange. Jokes aside, introducing an entirely new princess to save was a pretty neat change, and this wouldn't be the last time this series introduced someone new to populate the Mario Sluggers roster, but we'll talk about that later. What we'll talk about now is the actual game of Super Mario Land. And honestly, it's pretty okay. Welcome to Hot Take Central. Next, I'll tell you about how good Super Mario 64 is. If anything screams this is our first attempt at a 2D side-scrolling Mario game on the Game Boy, this game would be it. I mean, who else even would? Don't get me wrong, this game is definitely still playable and pretty fun, but it feels way more like a Mario Game Boy tech demo or proof of concept. Let me explain. To start, this game only takes 20 minutes to beat. I've brushed my teeth longer than that. Boot up the game, blink, and the credits roll. There's only 12 levels to call Super Mario Land home, and they aren't the meatiest ones either. The fact that there's no save or password system is actually okay, because if you have to quit and come back to a level, it'll only take you like 7 minutes to get back to where you were. And that's if you somehow don't beat the entire game in one sitting. Honestly, the shortness of the game does lend to its portable form factor and replayability. It's just funny how quickly it ends. The gameplay is a little weird. The level design and all of that is fine, great sometimes, and you even have these cool side-scrolling shooter stages. But the physics on the regular platforming stages just feel off. You fall like a rock, and it makes platforming across things like moving platforms way more challenging. It's doable, it just doesn't feel right. Super Mario Land does look good for an early Game Boy title, and sounds godly. The song for the Muda Kingdom is genuinely one of the catchiest video game songs I've ever heard, and in my top 5 video game music, it has to be number 2. Ghost Recon Galaxy is still number 1, I'm not a traitor. Speaking of beautiful video game music, the credits roll theme is also a very weirdly beautiful piece of music, especially for the shitty speaker. Super Mario Land was a great showcase of what the Game Boy could do early on in its life. but as an actual video game, with its short game length and wonky physics, it doesn't hold up that well. Taking exclusively my criticism to heart and no one else's, Nintendo came back 3 years later to release Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins on October 21st, 1992 in Japan, November 2nd, 1992 in North America, and in Europe on November 28th, 1992. Those Europeans got to be depressed for a whole extra month. Super Mario Land 2 did in fact cure depression, as this time around it truly felt like a complete Mario game. Minus a couple of hardware related issues, Super Mario Land 2 feels completely uncompromised compared to its console counterparts. Sure, it doesn't look as colorful, or of any color for that matter, but otherwise this is sure as hell a Mario game. Yeah, that's gotta be a lie. Mario Land 2 takes everything good the first game did and expanded upon it. So basically it was a sequel. The worlds are even more creative and unique than the first game, with super fun ideas to imply that for the most part, never have been seen in the Mario series again. You have Mario Zone, where you're exploring inside of a giant Mario that's built up of Legos. You have Macro Zone, where you explore a house but from the perspective of being very tiny. You also have Tree Zone, where you're just climbing up a tree, and Pumpkin Zone, where you get attacked by brooms and Jason Voorhees. All of these zones are connected by this awesome world map that even changes while you're walking around it. Like the turtle eating you off the map and Mario's sprite getting super small as he walks towards Macro Zone. It's little touches like this that in my opinion give Super Mario Land 2 the best presentation of any Game Boy game that I've ever seen. If Super Mario Land was Super Mario Bros. For the Game Boy, then Super Mario Land 2 is like Super Mario World for the Game Boy. The jump in quality across the entire game is just that big. You can even spin jump like in Super Mario World, and you also have a broken power-up you can use to skip half the stage too. Is this Super Mario Land 2? Another thing that was changed from the first game is having good physics this time around, with the jumps that don't send you crashing into the ground right after the apex of your jump. Funnily enough, it actually feels like the devs overcorrected a bit, as Mario Land 2 not only makes Mario feel lighter, but borderline floaty sometimes. For another game comparison that may or may not work, the first game's physics feel a little like Melee, while Mario Land 2's feel like Brawl. Is this Super Mario Land? The sprites look amazing, the controls feel tight even with the added float, the level designs are amazing all around, minus this one level where you just get in a bubble at the beginning and float at the top and stay there for the entire time. Hell, even the story is better than the first game, with a brand new character Wario stealing Mario's entire personal castle, but not the princess, while he was off rescuing Princess Daisy. The only way Super Mario Land 2 slightly degraded opposed to its predecessor was in the music category, but that doesn't mean the music is particularly bad here or anything. I just couldn't name any of the tracks if you held me at gunpoint. Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins is the perfect sequel, improving on just about everything that the first Mario Land did, and then continued to further refine and improve everything else that it could. Super Mario Land 2 is one of the best Game Boy games that I've ever played. And that says a lot, because I played Game & Watch Gallery too. That's where most like the Mario Land series ended, but everyone knows all good things come in threes. The next and final game in the Super Mario Land series didn't even let you play as Mario. I need a lawyer. And was called Wario Land Super Mario Land 3. Never mind. That's right, Wario not only stole Mario's entire castle, but his entire game series too. At least they finally gave the guy from WarioWare his own game. With a change in main character came a swath of other changes with it, with the main one being the pace. In my opinion, this is a much slower game compared to the first two, with an added emphasis on exploration. Those last three words will either make you shout, "Yes!" or "No!" And either way, you're on God's bad side. Is Wario Land a sin? Unfortunately, I happen to fall into the latter camp. I tend to prefer much quicker, more arcadier experiences, which is why I hate Namco Museum on the GBA. Oh yeah, I'm still upset about what they did to Miss Pac-Man. Wario Land is neither quick or arcadey, but even with that said, I can appreciate that they managed to change the gameplay enough as to separate it from the main Mario Land series, but not too much to the point where any Mario Land lover would be depressed. I think the Mario Land 3 subtitle in the game though was a poor choice. I think they added it on to draw up more sales, but did that really work? They thought they could fool me. The guy who bought the entire Super Mario Advance series, even though they were all remakes of games that have already been remade or weren't that old at the time of release, into buying Wario Land because it said Super Mario Land 3 on it? Get out of here. Wario Land still has several more things I can praise it for. The level design is once again really solid, the multiple endings is a super cool idea I wish was explored more in other Mario games, and the different power-ups all feel great to use. You have a hat that acts like a jetpack, a hat that acts like a flamethrower, and a hat that just looks cool. Okay, it does make you stronger and lets you ground pound and break blocks in one hit, but it looks cool! One thing I can't praise is the world map. Compared to how open and interactive the world map in Mario 2 was, this feels like a massive downgrade. Exploring the whole island still looks cool, but it just lacks the charm of the prior game. Another thing is the second world of this game is the water level world. What villain does that? What's up, it's Mike, and welcome to Mike's Game Tips, where I tell you how to make a game. You can definitely trust me. Look at all these games I developed. At least the number's the same. Anywho's, here's a free game tip from Mike. Don't do that. Wario Land, although not my cup of tea, is still a really good Game Boy game. And any game that can kickstart its own series is a neat game in my book. I just tend to lean towards Super Mario Land 2 more. Something I realized as I was playing through the Mario Land series was that why aren't any of these games a part of the Super Mario Advance series? Why remake games like Super Mario World and Super Mario Bros. 3? Games that have already either been remade or still look and play wonderfully. Super Mario Land could have definitely used a touch up to its physics and graphics, and Super Mario Land 2 with GBA graphics would look amazing. It couldn't have taken that much effort to port over, could it? Welcome back to Mike's Game Tips, where I tell you how to develop a game. Here's another free tip on the house. Just listen to me, I know better.